Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 700 Club. Israel and Hamas have agreed to speed up the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners. Hamas says it will release 6 hostages this Saturday.
Well, the terror group also says it will return the remains of 4 hostages, including a mother and her 2 children. Chris Mitchell reports.
What's coming Thursday may be one of the hardest blows to the heart of Israelis yet. A senior Hamas official says the terror group will release 4 bodies Thursday, and among them will be 9-month-old Kafir Bibas, 4-year-old Ariel Bibas, and their mother, Sherry Bibas.
This is what Hamas is sharing. We knew there was a possibility that they didn't make it.
However, the Israeli government insists the fate of the Bibas family can't be confirmed until their identities are verified. Relatives of Shiri, Ariel, and Kafir released this statement. We want to make it clear that while we are aware of these reports, we have not yet received any official confirmation regarding this matter. Until we receive definitive confirmation, our journey is not over. The IDF weighed in, saying it urges the public to rely only on announcements from official sources and to refrain from spreading rumors that harm the families of the hostages and the public. In an emotional reunion, Yarden Bibas, the father and husband, was released in the hostage exchange on February 1st. He's still waiting to know the fate of his wife and children. For many, the Bibas family has become the most well-known of the hostages. The video of a terrified mother clutching her babies has become the emblem of the cruelty of Hamas on October 7th and for more than 500 days. On a CBN News YouTube interview with Raj Nir, Mark Holloway expressed the heart of many.
I'm not sure what to make of this besides just being shattered. These 2 children and their mothers have, everybody's seen their videos being taken from their homes at gunpoint, and the iconic red hair, and it just is in everybody's mind. Everybody's been praying for the Bibas family just because of their age. They're young. Who takes hostages who are babies, who are sleeping in the cribs, just yanks them out of their home.
Along with this potentially heartbreaking news is the announcement that Hamas will release all at once the remaining 6 alive hostages set to be free in Phase 1 of the ceasefire this Saturday. On Tuesday at the Washington Hebrew congregation, they marked 500 days after October 7th with a national prayer for the return of all hostages. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
We hear a lot of numbers, don't we? 500 days, and under the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, Israel agreed give or take, to release about 1,900 Palestinian prisoners. Hamas said they would release 33 hostages or so, but it's no longer numbers today. Today's a striking day. It's still not easy, of course, to watch that video of a mom and her 2 children. And of course, Israel is saying, hold on, we need to confirm the remains we are to receive. But when you think of a mom and her 4-year-old child and 9-month-old baby, it's just such a reminder of the barbaric nature of October 7th, and the world needs that reminder. So it's going to be a rough 48 hours for the world. In other news, more than 100 million Americans are under winter storm alerts. Ephraim Graham has that story and more from the CBN Newsroom. Ephraim.
Andrew, a cross-country storm will slam cities from Oklahoma to right here in Virginia Beach. Ice, snow, and freezing temperatures affecting more than a dozen states. In North Dakota, wind chills will make it feel like 60 below zero. Kentucky, where some are still without power following the deadly floods that killed 14 people, it could get up to 6 inches of snow. North Carolina has declared a state of emergency, anticipating dangerous travel and power outages. And Virginia Beach could see snow totals in the double digits by the time the storm passes Thursday. Following up now on that crash landing at a Toronto airport Monday. New video shows the Delta jet slamming down hard on the runway, then the right landing gear apparently collapsing, tipping the wing into the ground and then causing the plane to flip. Both wings came off in the accident, but the fuselage remained intact. Passengers hung upside down as crew members got them out of the plane. Miraculously, all 80 people on board survived. 21 people were taken to the hospital. All but 2 of them have now been released. Investigators are still looking into the cause of that crash. I want to turn now to the fallout from the talks between the United States and Russian leaders about negotiations to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine's president and President Trump are engaging in a war of words after Ukraine was left out of the meeting. Zelensky says Trump is living in a, quote, disinformation bubble and has accused the White House of trying to weaken his country. Tuesday, Trump appeared to blame Ukraine for the war with Russia and said it was time for the country to hold new elections. Trump said Zelensky should have made a deal with Moscow to avoid conflict in the first place. He also expressed disappointment Ukrainian officials complained they didn't have a seat at the negotiating table.
But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
Ukrainian faith leaders share their president's view that Russia is not to be trusted. While they're grateful for the United States' support in defending their nation, they also want a just peace, which includes protection for religious freedom. CBN's Bertie Carter brings us this story.
While the meeting in Saudi Arabia laid the foundation for negotiating a peace deal, Mission Eurasia warns that Russia has specifically targeted Ukrainian pastors and churches in its report, Faith Under Russian Terror.
Whatever you see in that report, and that's hundreds of churches seized, destroyed, pastors arrested, there is no room for any other faith-based organization or church except the Russian Orthodox Church. It's critical to pay attention to it.
After 3 years of war, Ukrainian evangelical leaders like Mission Eurasia President Sergei Rakuba remain steadfast in urging Americans to support Ukraine. One pastor tells CBN News while the war has tested the faith of many, it's also made it stronger.
Many Christians realized that their faith was not as strong as they thought. We lost part of our members. They leave country, but another part understand that their faiths are growing during these problems. Many people understand that Christ is real today.
Pastor Dmytro Kolesnik of Lviv's Hosanna Baptist Church calls for a just peace, one that protects freedom, faith, and sovereignty. He credits American churches for helping Ukrainian congregations survive the war, grateful he's still able to freely worship God without fear or persecution.
The same Russian Orthodox Church, they are prohibited, but it's not about religious persecutions. Sorry, we have unity, we have peace between our confessions, and we have big freedom in our country, big religious freedom.
In addition to this persecution, the sense of betrayal here runs deep. This stems from Russia's violation of the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, which led to Ukraine giving up its nuclear arsenal in exchange for assurances of territorial integrity and political independence. Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea broke that deal and casts a shadow over whatever peace agreement might result from U.S.-led talks.
Ukrainians are expecting a lot more from the U.S. so that our country is not used as a bargaining chip, but there is a people, there are 40 million lives. And if we don't defend them as we promised, if we don't help them in their fight for their freedom and sovereignty, of course, Putin will not stop at any of this so-called peace talks.
The Saudi Arabia talks also included a potential summit between Presidents Trump and Putin. While the outcome of that negotiation remains uncertain, Ukraine's evangelicals maintain their unwavering faith in God remains strong. Bertie Carter, CBN News.
And this remains a tense situation all these years later. Andrew?
Yes, thank you, Ephraim, especially now, and I really appreciate Brodie's timely story, because as we see this situation as tensions escalate in a war of words between Zelensky and President Trump and Ukrainians urging the president don't trust Putin, there's a glimpse in how many Ukrainians are relying on their faith and the Lord to protect them, not their own leadership or maybe other nations. And once again, I think Christians in this nation are humbled seeing the faith walk of those around the world where it is very difficult to be a believer.